Welcome to this tutorial on Pester Test Structure. Today, you'll learn about the three fundamental building blocks that form the foundation of every Pester test: describe, context, and it. These elements work together to create organized, readable, and maintainable tests for your PowerShell code. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to structure your tests properly and write effective test suites that validate your PowerShell functions and scripts. Before diving into the structure, let's quickly understand what Pester is. Pester is PowerShell's official testing and mocking framework designed for unit testing and behavior-driven development. It validates that your PowerShell code works as expected by running tests against your functions and scripts. Pester ensures code quality and reliability by catching bugs early in the development process. Additionally, it integrates seamlessly with continuous integration workflows, making it essential for modern PowerShell development practices. Pester tests are built using three core blocks that work together hierarchically. The first is describe, which groups related tests together for a specific feature or function. The second is context, which defines different test scenarios or conditions within that group. The third is it, which contains the actual individual tests with their assertions. Think of these as layers. Describe is the container, context organizes by scenario, and it performs the actual validation. Understanding this hierarchy is crucial for writing well-structured Pester tests. The describe block is the outermost container in your test file. It groups all related tests for a specific feature, function, or module. In this example, we have a describe block for a function called getUserInfo. Everything related to testing this function goes inside this block. The describe block takes a string parameter that describes what you're testing, making it easy to identify which component is being validated. This is where you organize all your test scenarios for a particular piece of functionality. Inside a describe block, you use context blocks to organize tests by specific scenarios or conditions. Context blocks help you group tests that share the same setup or test similar behavior under different circumstances. In this example, we have two context blocks within the getUserInfo describe block. The first context tests the scenario when a user exists in the system. The second context tests what happens when a user does not exist. This separation makes your tests more readable and easier to maintain by clearly defining different testing scenarios. The it block is where the actual testing happens. Each it block contains a single test with assertions that verify expected behavior. The it block takes a descriptive string that explains what the test should validate. Inside the block, you write the test code and use the should assertion to verify the results. In this example, the it block tests that the function returns the correct username. The test calls getUserInfo with a user ID, stores the result in a variable, and then asserts that the name property equals John Doe. Each it block should test one specific behavior. Now let's see how all three blocks work together in a complete example. We have a describe block for a function called getFileSize. Inside it, there are two context blocks for different scenarios. The first context handles when a file exists and contains an it block that verifies the function returns a size greater than 0. The second context handles when a file is missing and contains an it block that verifies the function throws an error. This complete structure creates readable, organized tests where each block has a clear purpose, and the test logic flows naturally from general to specific. Let's recap the key points about Pester test structure. First, the describe block groups tests for a specific feature or function, serving as the main container. Second, the context block organizes tests by different scenarios or conditions within that feature. Third, the it block contains individual test assertions that verify expected behavior. Finally, this three-level structure creates tests that are readable, maintainable, and easy to understand. By following this pattern consistently, you'll write better tests that clearly communicate their purpose and make debugging easier when tests fail. Start applying this structure in your own PowerShell projects today.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.